How many times have you sworn off social media? Yet somehow YouTube didn't count. The excuse is always the same. But I'm learning something here. This is different. It's documentaries, lectures, podcasts, self-growth. But deep down, you know the truth. What was meant to be educational turned into a way to numb yourself. You hop on to watch just one quick thing. And before you know it, 2 hours have flown by. And all you've really learned is how to run from your own life with clever reasoning. This video isn't about vilifying YouTube. It's about facing the truth no one wants to admit. The problem was never the content. It was the intention behind the way you consume it. Today, I'm going to tell you how I broke that cycle. And more than that, how one quiet decision made me feel lighter, more alive, and, surprisingly, more connected to people. I tried to quit YouTube. For real. Deleted the app. Installed blockers. Forced myself to stay away for days. For a while, I was convinced the only solution was going cold turkey. But here's what I found. Cutting it off completely doesn't mean you're free. It's just another kind of prison dressed up as discipline. Because the real problem wasn't just the addiction. It was the emptiness that crept in when the screen went silent. And nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the uneasy silence that shows up when we try to unplug. The anxiety, the boredom, the urge to fill every minute with something that feels productive. That's when I realized it's not about completely cutting it out, but about reprogramming the way I use it. Turning YouTube into a tool, not an escape. Stopping the habit of opening the homepage expecting salvation and starting to use it with intention, with boundaries, with presence. Freedom didn't come when I deleted everything. It came when I learned to choose what kind of information I would absorb. I once watched a TED Talk that completely blew my mind. One of the stats said that 93% of young people's free time will be spent staring at screens. 93%. Almost all of our freedom exchanged for pixels. And you know what's worse? It's not even for real pleasure. It's for habit, for exhaustion, for anxiety, for not knowing what to do when we're alone. After that, I was in shock. I started asking myself, how many hours of my life have I silently surrendered to distraction? How many Sunday afternoons slipped away down the drain in videos I don't even remember? How many more years will I keep watching while life passes by in HD outside? How many personal interactions did I miss out on because of this addiction? The weight of it hit me almost physically. It wasn't just about the addiction. It was about time, about memory, about existence. It was about what I'm missing out on while I'm just consuming. The solution wasn't some grand transformation. It was a small shift in perspective. I had to consciously acknowledge something I had always ignored. All those screens full of suggestions of relevant videos. It's all just noise. It's the system trying to pull me into a cycle that leads nowhere. The real transformation started when I began observing without clicking, without giving in to the impulse, simply stopping myself from being swept away by the current. These tools that YouTube gives us, they're not there to help us. They're designed to keep us hooked, always chasing the next stimulus, the next click. Now, the big shift was reducing the stimuli. I changed my settings, turned off notifications, used apps that limit screen time, and most importantly, I became more selective. It's not about quitting entirely. It's about stopping yourself from being carried away without thinking. And when you start distancing yourself from those automatic triggers, you begin to regain control. You start asking yourself, what do I actually want to see? What do I really want to learn? The big question is, what will you do when you no longer have the screen to fill the voids? The answer isn't doing nothing. It's filling your time with something more. Something real, something that helps you grow. I started filling my time with things that actually matter. Reading, studying, going for walks, exercising, and most importantly, meeting up with friends. Simple things, but they reconnect you with real life, with the present, with your essence. But the most important thing of all, I started talking to people in real life. That, for me, was the big revelation. Because you'll never truly feel complete on your own. Human connection is essential. The exchange, the eye contact, the genuine smile, the energy of being with someone. There's nothing on YouTube or any other social network that can replace that. Nothing. Real life begins with authenticity. At first, I tried to be someone I'm not, to attract more attention, more recognition. But I quickly realized that if I wanted to build something real, I'd need to show my true personality, no filters. And here's another point. Filter out the uninteresting. Don't try to please everyone. Be yourself, spontaneous, and the right people will connect with you. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. Be authentic from the start, and the connections you make will be deep, real, and genuine. When you start distancing yourself from the screens, one of the greatest freedoms you gain is the ability to connect with your own interests. Not the ones imposed by social media or algorithms, but your genuine interests. The ones that make your eyes light up. I started sharing my specific hobbies, and they don't have to be grand or things everyone will understand. Could be your love for indie music or your passion for building airplane models or origami. The point is to share who you really are. Even interests that seem uncommon create memories and connections with people who think like you. This changes everything. Because unlike the virtual world, where you're pushed into a mold, in real life you have the chance to be yourself and be accepted for it. But what about the fear of exposing yourself? The fear of being judged? I get it. I felt that too. I was always stuck in my own head, overthinking how things would be received. And you know what I learned? Excessive self-censorship keeps you from living. Speak without so much filter. I now see my mistakes as practice. With each failure comes an opportunity to express myself more freely. And yes, not everyone is going to understand you. Not everyone is going to like what you have to offer. And that's okay. Don't force connections. Don't wear yourself out trying to please people who clearly don't care about you. I've been there. I tried to be someone I wasn't just to be accepted, but life is too short to seek approval from everyone. So accept rejection and move forward with ease. Life is full of meetings and mismeetings. And over time, you'll realize that the people who truly matter will start showing up. One of the big changes I made was to take the lead in conversations. This means, start conversations believing that people want to talk to you. Don't wait for others to make the first move. If you're afraid of being rejected, be the first to step forward. Listen with genuine attention. Showing real interest in people is one of the greatest gifts you can give. When you listen with an open heart, not only do you create a connection, but you also become someone memorable in their lives. Now, there's something very powerful I learned from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Be the supporting character. This may sound counterintuitive, but the secret here is, make people feel important. Yes, make them feel that they matter. This can be as simple as remembering their name, smiling, giving a sincere compliment, or simply listening with real curiosity. This breaks down barriers, because we all want to be heard and recognized. Be transparent. Don't be afraid to open up. If you enjoy someone's company, suggest getting together. Show real interest. It's not about playing an ego game, but about building an honest connection. This will break down the walls of distrust between people and create a sense of mutual trust. And one of the most powerful keys to truly connecting with people is empathy. I'm not talking about that surface-level empathy. I'm talking about the real thing. The wound updating technique is something simple but profoundly transformative. Ask the person, is something bothering you lately? Listen with genuine attention, without acting like a therapist. It's a way to see the other person as they truly are, and not as you wish they were. When you show this level of attention and understanding, the person feels a real connection without judgment. And this is what truly builds a solid relationship. Now, when the encounter has been good and you feel a real connection, create a WhatsApp group immediately. Don't wait. Create the group, add the people, and start interacting. This not only keeps the contact going, but also makes future meetings easier. You're already one step ahead, because the group serves as a natural and constant point of contact. It's a way to ensure that connection doesn't fade over time. Don't put off what can be done now. Also, always think about how you can help someone. When you do a genuine favor, you don't expect anything in return, but you end up creating a natural exchange of value. This exchange will strengthen the bond between you. We remember those who help us. And the best part, when you help, you're adding something positive to the other person's life, which creates a cycle of gratitude and reciprocity. On the other hand, don't be afraid to ask for favors. It might feel vulnerable, but believe me, asking for help is a powerful way to create a connection. It shows that you trust the person, that you value their opinion. Of course, don't overdo it, but know that asking for something simple creates a bond of intimacy and trust. People like to feel they have something important to offer. And for those times when nervousness hits and you're not sure how to start a conversation, have a simple, open-ended question ready. An effective pickup line could be something like, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? This question doesn't require complex answers. It's an invitation for the person to talk about themselves, and it's a great way to break the ice, reducing the anxiety of starting from scratch. Remember, starting conversations doesn't need to be complicated. Start simple, start light. Now, when you find yourself in large groups, instead of trying to dominate the group conversation, focus on one-on-one interactions. When you're with many people at once, it's easy to get lost in the crowd. But if you begin to approach people individually, you create a more intimate and genuine space for connection. Use small excuses like going to the bathroom or getting something to eat, but take those moments to step away from the group and engage in a more personal, direct conversation with someone. This creates an environment where you become more memorable, more authentic, because you're giving real attention to one person, not to many. Sometimes it's in these more intimate conversations that deep connections begin. Speaking of creating connections, treat people as if they were already your friends. Don't wait for time or confirmation of a friendship to start acting like one. From the very beginning, joke around, compliment them, use their name, and create a light atmosphere. You already have within you the potential to be friends with everyone around you, but often, the barrier is simply not acting like it from the get-go. The key here is to create comfort. Once again, authenticity is key. With the right attitude, people will sense that you're being genuine. And most importantly, creating lightness turns any interaction into something memorable. Treat people like old friends, not strangers. This will make you stand out and form relationships that, instead of being forced, become natural and flow. Did you like the video? Well, if you've made it this far, you've definitely made some friends, or at least taken the first step toward doing so. Now, if you enjoyed the content, it wouldn't hurt to lend a hand to our channel to strengthen our friendship, right? Actually, it'd be a huge favor, and I'm not talking about money, but rather a very simple donation in the form of a subscription. Yes, if you truly feel that these tips can change the way you connect with others, then subscribe to the channel and share with anyone who might also need a little push in that direction. Oh, and remember, by subscribing, you help keep these tips coming, just like someone helping to create more connections. Except in our case, virtual connections are also very welcome. Now, keep practicing the art of real connection outside of the screen, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and don't forget to use your friendship superpower. Okay? Subscribe now and share with anyone you know who could benefit from this transformation. It costs nothing and makes all the difference for the channel to grow and bring more content like this.